Alright guys, this is it. Agar.io, or Agario as I say. So that's agar.io, and this is a very special .io game because as far as I know, it was the game that started this entire trend. It was made by a 19-year-old Brazilian developer, which is amazing in its own right. Like, hats off to this guy for doing something at that age that's actually made a ton of money, has thousands of players, and is really fun, right? So, I mean, that it's just so cool that he was able to do that, and thanks to him, we have so many other .io games. Internet gaming is very different from what it used to be. And there are a few modes, so we have team mode, free-for-all mode, experimental mode, and party mode. Experimental mode, as far as I can tell last time I played it, is exactly the same as free-for-all mode, except there's additional virus cells like that, except they're orange, and if you go into them, they eat you and then expel your mass as pellets all around it. So that's kind of an interesting change. But free for all is the one most people do. Teams is a nice additional option, which I'll try out. And party mode, I think, is if you want to have a link and and work with your friends in the same map. So it's kind of creating like a personal server kind of thing, I think. So, but I'm gonna start with free for all mode. So you use your mouse to your cell follows your mouse. So your cell is the blob that you play as. If you press space, you split in half, and that's what you do when you want to eat another cell. Because larger cells move slower. So if you see a cell that's less than half your size, you're not going to be able to eat it. But if you split by clicking space, you'll cut yourself in half, and one half will move faster out. So that'll allow you to catch nearby cells that are smaller than you. And W allows you to shoot out mass, pellets of mass, which is it's useful if you're in team mode and you need to support a member of your team. Let's say they're fighting with a similarly sized cell and they need a bit more mass to eat them. Press W to send them some help. Or if you've split yourself up and you need to make one of your cells bigger than all the others because you're facing someone who's pretty big, and if you remain equally divided, you would be eaten, right? Then if you press W and shoot mass back into yourself, you might stand a better chance. Plus, smaller cells go back into they go back into the main cell sooner. So if you split in half and you have lots of mass, it'll take a while for you to join back together. But if you don't have much mass and you split, then it doesn't take very long. So enough of that, let's give it a try. So just need left hand on W and space and right hand on the mouse. Alright, so we had to eat these pellets to get food or mass. And we have a leaderboard with some, of course, inappropriate words, as you always see on pretty much any .io game. Whoa, that guy tried to eat me, but failed. And if you go for a while, you start to lose mass. So you're constantly losing mass, and the bigger you get, the faster you lose it. So it's not really an issue at this size, but if you get to be as big as that feed guy, you're going to be losing mass pretty quick and need to eat people to keep yourself going. Alright, let's see. It's pretty busy up here. I don't know. Whoa, that guy's massive. Yeah, I don't know how many people are on the server. I think maybe around. Usually there's between 60 and 80. If you're smaller than the virus, you can hide inside there. But if you're bigger than the virus and you hit it, it's going to break you up into a bunch of small little cells. Unless you get so big that you can split to the maximum. So that's splitting like 4 or 5 times. And then all your cells are bigger than the virus. If that's the case, then you can eat the viruses. But if even one of your cells go back in, so you're not fully divided, the virus will break you up into a bunch of small pieces. So that's a risk. And you need to be really massive, like have a score of around 2,500 or so in order to be able to do that. So typically you don't get a chance to do it. But if you do, let me know, because that's really a really interesting way to play. I've only managed to get to that point once or twice, but it's fascinating being able to just cruise through the map and eat whatever you want. All right, let's see. I'm gonna try and eat someone. Boom. There we go. So as you can see, that's where splitting comes in handy. That guy could have outrun me, but not when I shoot out and capture him like that. But now I have to wait for my cells to rejoin. So that's going to take a little while. And in the meantime, I'm more vulnerable than I was when I was just one cell, because two smaller cells can be eaten by a cell that is smaller than if it was one big cell, of course. And I'm also not able to split as easily. Like, I could split, but then I'd be in 4 cells and I'd be even smaller. But an interesting property of splitting is not only do you get a chance to eat people and you go a bit faster, but you also get a more panned out view of the map. So it's good for being able to figure out your surroundings. So I'm pretty much done with this for now. So I'm gonna try and like eat one more person, and then pan out and show you just how you can see more of the map. So you can see now I'm split to the max, and I'm going very fast and able to see a ton more than I was able to see when I was just one. But I'm super vulnerable because pretty much anyone can eat me. Alright, Jumbo, you're not very jumbo, so I'm going to help you out. There we go. Alright, so now we are going to try team mode. Alright, so you can see we have a pie chart up here of which team is winning and which team's in second and all that, instead of a leaderboard chart for individual players. So that's pretty cool. You can easily, sometimes it jumps, and that's when one of the really big cells gets eaten. And there's no safe place in Agarrio, so unlike Dieppe, where you have an area where the other team can't go, there is nowhere to hide. So that means this crazy guy is stalking me down. Oh, but he left. Fantastic. And the best strategy is to help out your team, right? If you see a teammate struggling with a opposing member of a team, shoot them some mass and try and get them to eat them, because it's a lot easier to regain mass if your team's winning. If you're losing, the other team is going to be more aggressive and they're going to eat you, because they don't have to worry about big cells eating them. But if the teams are fairly equal or you're winning, people are going to be more conservative and less likely to attack you. And additionally, if you help someone out and then they eat a big cell, oftentimes they'll send you some mass to say thank you, and it can even be more than the amount of mass that you sent them, depending on how nice they are and how much you contributed. Alright, so, and hiding in cells, virus cells, wow, is good if you're not too big, but as you can see, I joined up at the wrong moment there and got too big, so now I'm split up into way more cells than I originally was, which isn't optimal, but it lets me move faster and I can see more, so that's okay. Once I rejoin, I'm going to help out this solo guy before I leave, because gotta help the team, right? Oh no, what is going on here? Alright, solo guy was helping out someone else, so I will help him out. And then I will go die. let's see. There's gotta be someone around here who can eat me. Yes. Farewell. Alright, and you can see it has this cool list of how much you ate, how long you live, and a graph of your mass over time. So that's quite cool. I guess we have time. I'll show you experimental mode because it's kind of fun. Give it a try. So they still have the normal viruses, but presumably they should have orange viruses. Yes, or I guess they're reddish. But as you can see, they're spitting out mass, and people tend to congregate around them. Whoa. But yeah, that's Agario. So we have multiple modes. We also have some extra options down here, like we can choose what server. As you can see, there's an absolutely huge player base. Was around 30,000 or 25,000 players on right now, so that's insane. You can spectate matches, you can choose the graphic quality, and a few other options here. So it's super cool. It's an amazing game. Historically, I mean, it's fascinating to look into the history of it, who made it, and how it's influenced the rest of online gaming. Because without this game, we probably wouldn't have Slither, we probably wouldn't have Diep, we probably wouldn't have any of the other .io games. So really just thanks to the developer who made this. It's great that it's still so popular, and it's a very fun game. So give it a try. Let me know how you do, and I will see you in the next video.